Episode number 23 of Thursday Podcast is here. What's going on, fellas? I'm Nate. That's Brian here to my right. We got a great show for y'all today. First off, Brian, how you doing? I know there's a certain team of yours
Yeah,
doing well right
right.
now. Let's talk about
Got
them
their
first.
sweatshirt on. Yeah, no, what could have been a disaster of a loss.
Mm-hmm.
First off, hang on. Before we get to anything, the fact that the New York Mets, are in Canada on the 23rd anniversary of 9/11 is the dumbest thing in the world, all right? The Mets should have a home game. First of all, it should be Mets and Yankees every 9/11. At the very least, both teams should be in New York that day.
Yeah.
That's a very big day. That's a very sad day for New Yorkers. The Mets should be there. But regardless of that, that's a whole issue with Manfred and all that. The fact the Mets were getting no hit for 8 innings, and then our guy, our MVP, Francisco Lindor, comes up and like Gary Cohen, shout out him, he's on the broadcast. He goes, I think Francis had a no hitter going last time out and got the first batter in the ninth inning in a home run. And as soon as he said that, the next pitch, no doubt home run by Francisco Lindor to tie the game. And then after the floodgates just opened 6-1, 6-1 in the inning, Mets win the game 6-2. The win of the season, going into a gauntlet, we got to play the Phillies, I think 10 times down the stretch. The Braves for a 3-game series. Like, it gets tough. So to have the off day today, coming off that high, it's just the Mets are in good shape right now. But keep your eyes on the prize here, right? That win is huge. Let that momentum build us so we can keep winning these big games coming down the stretch. Because I don't want to say it, but the Mets still have a shot in the division. If they can beat up on the Phillies, chance.
Yeah. I think it's just for some reason it's nice to see the Mets succeed. I just feel, obviously I'm not a Mets fan. I'm a Phillies fan and an Ace fan. But baseball seems better when you guys are doing really good, and you
Yeah.
guys have the best record in baseball since I believe it was June, the last day of June, heading into July. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal. Francisco Lindor seems like has a case to be the National League MVP based off his success so far, and just the whole team is a vibe. So it's nice to see you guys succeed, and I hope,
Yeah.
no doubt, like from the bottom of my heart, not that it's that deep or anything, but I hope that you guys make the wild card, make the playoffs and clinch a wild card spot sooner rather than later as we approach the end of September.
Yeah.
Because baseball is legit wrapping up as we speak.
Yeah, it's 17. I think the Mets have 16 games left. So, like, it's the home stretch here, guys. Like, it's, put up or shut up now.
Yeah, and a lot of those games, like you said, are against division rivals
We're
in the
all against
Phillies.
division rivals.
Holy
Phillies
cow!
against the Phillies and Braves, and then they play the Nationals for a 3-game series.
That should be
So,
easy.
yeah, that's the tune-up matchup, but it's Braves and Phillies coming up. That's going to be who they're playing.
All righty.
Why do they have all division matchups now?
I know it shouldn't
Why
be more
would
spread out.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, I'm fine playing the Phillies and Braves, but I should be playing the Phillies 10 times when I haven't played them all season. There's
Yeah.
only 13 games against your division rivals. Like, it should be, I want September to be filled with division matchups, but like, 3 games against the Phillies, 4 against the Braves, 4 against the Marlins. Like, we have other division rivals we can play here, guys. We don't just have to play the Phillies 10 times.
Yeah, you guys have 3 games against the Phillies, then you're back at home for the Nationals, and then you're hosting the Phillies again for a 4-game stretch, and then you have the Braves, and you have the Brewers to end the season.
That's what it is, yeah.
That's what it was. Okay, so we'll see what happens. I think because we're down the home stretch, we'll probably start every episode the rest of the way with the Mets, excluding when the Giants play and whatnot. But definitely the Mets are something worth
that's
covering.
different.
Yeah, as we head down the home stretch of the MLB season. All right, so today's episode will consist of the following for you folks. We got comments about Daniel Jones after he was asked about criticism throughout his career and, of course, recently. We'll talk about the Commanders as the Giants will face them on Sunday. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Hopefully, the Giants can get back on track. Notre Dame, what are the keys to beating Purdue? Our week 2 picks, and that will do it. So, before we get into all that, some NFL headlines to discuss real quick. The NFL Power Rankings came out from ESPN yesterday. Wanted to break those down real quick. Chiefs, Niners, is from 1st to 32nd, by the way. Chiefs, Niners, Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens, Eagles, Texans, Cowboys, Bills, Dolphins, and Rams rank out the top 10 teams in the power rankings. The biggest jump for me throughout the rest of the rankings was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who jumped from 21 to 13.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they deserve it. They played a good game. They looked good. And Baker Mayfield, everything going on in Cleveland right now, you don't think Browns fans are begging to have Baker Mayfield back on their team?
Yeah. And it's just like Baker's doing he's the one guy the Giants could have signed in free agency after the 2022 season, which is when they made the playoffs. Unfortunately, we decided to re-sign Daniel Jones, and it's looking bad for us now because Baker's doing so well. But
It's been horrible back then. Everyone would have been killing us.
mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones finally figures it out, and you replace him with Baker Mayfield. What's wrong with you?
Then the
That's
Bucks
would have been the headline.
Then the Bucks gave him a chance, and look what happened. They made the postseason. They played extremely well. They beat the Commanders last week, and we'll break that down later as well. But props to the Buccaneers for taking a chance on him, and props to Mayfield for playing like the number 1 overall pick that he was drafted to be. It just took him a few teams to kind of get to that status, and well, look at him now. So congrats to him. Congrats to the Bucks on a great start to the season. Our beloved Giants are 31st in the power rankings after being 26th the week to
Thank God for the Carolina Panthers.
I
I'm
know.
gonna say.
No, seriously. They said our best newcomer performance was Drew Phillips. No surprise there. I mean, that our 3rd round rookie was absolutely played. Yeah, him or Newbin, they both played extremely well on Sunday. It's just the rest of the team was just a complete mess. But yeah, just want to break that down real quick. The Cardinals receiver Marvin Harrison was frustrated after being held to 1 catch for 4 yards. I would be frustrated. Brian, you'd be frustrated too.
Yeah.
Some interesting, possibly trouble in Arizona because when he is your number 1 receiver, everyone else outside of that is not that great. So yeah, Arizona, let's try to give him the football, please. Not just for his sanity, but for my fantasy team. Anyways, players of the week: Joe Mixon, Gregory Rousseau, and Chris Boswell won for the AFC, and then for the NFC, former Giant Saquon Barkley, Tyreek Stevenson, the cornerback for the Bears, and Jake Moody of the 49ers won NFC Player of the Week. So congrats to those 6 guys. Hopefully we'll see a Giant on there very soon.
Probably not.
The way the season's going so far.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe our kicker, but that's not a good sign.
Yeah, then we have to get into field goal range. That's the one issue.
Yeah. All right. So, as much as I felt like this is old news, he continues to dominate the headlines for obvious reasons, and he'll continue to do that for the Giants until he leaves. But Daniel Jones, since being the 6th overall pick in 2019, as you guys know, as we know, he's had pressure and doubt from the start. And apparently this guy isn't worried about his confidence and his mental toughness. And before we start, I do want to say when the video of fans booing him after the game when he was walking, to his car, them waiting for him wasn't really a good look because at the end,
I think they're just frustrated. I think it's just frustration is what it is at this point.
mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Like, this is just a team that's been losing and continue to lose. And right now, Daniel Jones is the face of that losing. So, yeah, we're going to get our frustration out by going after him.
It's just the fact that they waited so long. They waited legit after the game. They didn't want to go home. And it's like, why'd you waste your time? Just go home. We're all frustrated at him. It is what it is. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I think when I saw that video, I was like, damn, his mental health must be like at an all-time low. But then he was speaking with reporters yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, I feel like I've been doubted plenty of times, and I've dealt with that time and time again. He's done a good job with it, apparently, from what he thinks. He thinks his mental toughness is a good place. He's not concerned about it. He's playing to win games, and he's playing to lead the team to score points and win games. That has always been my focus." He says, "I know I can do that. Got to do it. I got to do it well." Brian Dable, when asked about Jones, he said, "Yeah, we played one game, so no one did good enough in that first game. So again, it's a team sport, and we're working on fixing that." Here's the thing. When Jones says winning games, I understand the 9-win season that he helped put up in 2022. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 years ago. Brian, we did not talk 2 years ago. I was just a regular writer and editor. You were a writer. I just edited your stuff. That was a long time ago. Okay. Ever since Jones signed that 4-year, $160 million contract, the Giants have gone 1-6. Should have been 0-7 because that Arizona game was a fluke.
The Arizona game's a fluke. It's a major fluke.
It should be. That's a major outlier. It should be 0-7. Jones has thrown 2 touchdowns in that span. He's also thrown 3 interceptions for touchdowns. Pick sixes are what they know to be called. So, winning games. What are we doing? It's like I don't understand why he says the right things, but
sometimes you just don't have the talent. And Daniel Jones he's taking too long to make decisions. He's not reading defenses right. That's all it is sometimes. You could be the nicest guy in the world, but that doesn't mean you can translate to be a good football player. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Daniel Jones is taking too long for plays to develop. That's causing either defenses to, hit him because the offensive line's not good enough, or it's causing secondaries to be like, all right, he's looking. Where is he looking? Oh, he's looking at Darius Slayton. All right, everyone get on Darius Slayton. Interception. So at the end of the day, it's just simple stuff like that Jones has just not been able to correct. And if you can't correct those things, especially after playing at Duke for 4 years under David Cutcliffe, who is a huge name in the NFL market, like Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. I'm pretty sure he's worked with other quarterbacks, but those are the 2 main ones that come to mind. He helped them. Those are both no doubt Hall of Famer. Eli's probably a Hall of Famer. Then you might not be the first ballot, but he's going to get it eventually. When you have all that, then you come to New York. I understand Jason Garrett wasn't great. On Pat Shermer, but you had Pat Shermer who was good. Brian Dable, who is an offensive guru. Mike Kafka, who is. You have all these sort of offensive guys, and you're still making these little mistakes. Just not an NFL quarterback at that point.
And it's just like these Giants fans want to see him win. The last time the Giants or Daniel Jones specifically has won a game at MetLife Stadium, 620 days. You know how long that's been? 620
What was
days.
it? That was the Colts game?
That was the Colts game. That's
wow.
Correct. I know. Long time. Which, by the way, that was one of the best games ever.
Oh, it was. Too bad I wasn't watching it. I was in the Patriots stadium watching Patriots Dolphins.
So you haven't seen a Giants home win since.
Wow. It's been a while. Actually, no. We've won the Patriots game at home, and the Packers game at MetLife
with Daniel Jones starting.
Oh yeah, no, that I haven't seen in a while. Look, it's very simple. You know why Giants fans are so upset? Coin I got this coin for the 100th anniversary. Can't really see it, but the Giants helmet, and they got the 100-year logo on the back of it. It's a little hard to make out, but on this coin it says "Time World Champions." They list out all the years the Giants won championships.
Times.
Giants have won 8 championships. They've won 4 Super Bowls and 8 championships. Yeah, they've won 4 Super Bowls.
Got it. I was like,
yeah. So 1927, 1934, 1938, 1956, 1986, 1990, 2007, 2011. This is a winning franchise. this is a franchise that even when they weren't winning, if you look, the Giants have gone to 11 championship games and lost. So they've gone to 19 championships. This is a championship or bust franchise, and it's not been like that since the 2012 season. That was the last time the Giants were had sustained success, and that's all the fans want to get back to. They want to be the class of the NFL, like the Packers have been, like the Cowboys have been, like the Patriots have been. They are one of the biggest brands in the NFL, and they should be winning year in and year out. And when you're continuing to settle for guys like Daniel Jones, who are clearly not the answer, this fan base is going to get frustrated because this is a team that should be winning, going for Super Bowls, not trying to fight. Well, maybe he's the guy. No, we need to know he's the guy.
And there's no excuse because we've said it before. The Giants have put a team around Daniel Jones. Matter of fact, after week 1, when grading the offensive line, the Giants had the 9th best offensive line play.
That's what we wanted. That's what we've been crying about. And they're finally putting the team around them. Mm-hmm. And he still sucks.
And you said it yourself. You're like, we don't need the offensive line to be top 10. As long as they're average, we'll be fine. They were better than average on Sunday.
They're top 10. They're literally a top 10 offensive line.
Yeah.
It's week 1 and it's going to change because,
yeah,
the Vikings pass rush wasn't the best and we'll face better teams, yada, yada, all that. We had a top 10 offensive line, which is what we've been screaming about and what Jones defenders have been yelling about for years, how he hasn't had a good offensive line. Well, he had one on Sunday and he still sucked. So what's the excuse now?
Exactly. And receivers, he doesn't have any. Oh, he does now. Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt if we need him as well. We've run out of excuses.
Had a solid game, lost in all of it. Robinson didn't play terribly. Yeah. He's beat like a really big fantasy waiver wire pickup this week. I have him in a couple leagues now.
Yeah.
Just stash him on the bench and let him go off.
6 catches, 44 yards. That's 10 PPR points. Speaking of fantasy, I think I faced you this week.
Yeah, we do. And I think you're projected by 3 points. It's going to be hang on, I'm pulling up right now.
That team sucks.
Yeah. 161 to 156. You're projected to beat me by.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna lose. We'll see. It's gonna be fun talking about that on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say,
come on, Jets defense, beat up on the Titans. Let's go, boys. I've been behind the Titans, but screw them. I'll cash out the bet right now.
I assume you're going Jets then. We'll make our week 2 picks. I assume. Jesus. But look, here's the thing about Jones. Look, he mentally, I wish him nothing but the best. He talks with a sports psychologist. Apparently, he's close with his family. Uses them as a sounding board. That's perfectly fine. But there's a lot of noise on the outside. You have former Giants like Golden Tate, Janoris Jenkins, who calls Daniel Jones Mr. Doo-Doo Man. Apparently, given their opinions. Jonathan Grenard of the Vikings, who they just played.
You felt bad for him. Oh, that's my God.
You know how sad that is to hear opposing teams say that they feel bad for you?
My buddy said that to me a couple nights ago, and I literally texted him, like, I'm going to jump off a roof. Like, this makes the loss so much worse. When the other team feels bad for you, oh, my God, just retire. Yeah. Like, if I had a performance that bad, the other team felt bad for me, like, all right, I can't play this sport anymore. I'm not good.
Because they're taking away what he's good at. But I don't know what that is.
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, it's not that hard to look at your first read. And
your first read. Play develop. Tear down guys, which he does. He knows who he's going to throw to. As soon as he breaks, it's like, all right, I'm going to throw to Malik. I'm throwing to Slate. I'm throwing to Hyatt. I'm throwing to Wandale. I'm throwing a check down to Gray. Like, no, don't do that. Be like, I'm going to see what the defense gives me.
If it's not there, find somewhere else. There's plenty of options. There's plenty of options to find, other people, basically. And it's hard to comprehend. Like, it may be easier said than done, but at the same time, it's not that hard to look at your other reads and find your other receivers instead of staring down your first guy.
6-year quarterback. When you've been in
6-year
the league for
quarterback.
6 years, like that's something that they should beat out of you in high school,
Mm-hmm.
NFL.
Like freshman year of high school, you learn that hey, there's other. You gotta look at your first read. If it's not there, find somewhere else, or just scramble and make plays with your legs. And that's something that we will have to see if Jones can somehow fix that in week 2. Real quick about Brian Dable, he said he's someone I talk to every day. When speaking of Jones, we talk about discipline to do the right things on and off the field, having a positive attitude regardless of the situation. And here's the thing, look, I think Jones has handled the New York media great ever since joining the team back in 2019. He's done an excellent job facing the criticism head on. His teammates
Mm-hmm.
have his back. He's not Deshaun Watson. Like when the
No,
criticism is there, he is not Deshaun Watson. Both
I
in
got some opinions on Deshaun Watson.
from a football standpoint, that's gonna be ugly. From a football standpoint, and also from a media standpoint. But from a media standpoint, that means nothing when you're not performing on the field. And we hope that Daniel Jones does succeed just for this season, because after week 1, it's more than likely that we're going to get a new quarterback if we don't play well, because the schedule's going to get much harder. And
the gauntlet starts next week.
That's going to be.
It doesn't look great right now because of Deshaun Watson. Who knows who's going to be on the field next week? But like this Commanders game is, a toss-up. We probably could beat the Browns because they're just an absolute disaster with everything going on. After that, it's who knows when that next one's coming.
But based off week 1, looking at this, I mean, let's not act like Cincinnati was great. I'm just saying after week 1.
Yeah, you're right. They weren't great. They lost to a Patriot team that shouldn't, they should have crushed them. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, but Cincinnati played well, but they scored a touchdown. The Giants didn't do on Sunday.
Score a touchdown.
So they still would have lost.
Us and the Steelers, the only teams not to score a touchdown.
At least the Steelers have, TJ Watt that's like wrecking the entire offense for the other team. We don't have a TJ Watt. We have Brian Burns, who we think could be TJ Watt. We have Kayvon Thibodeau, who you think could be TJ Watt, and they're not right now.
Yeah, we have players that can be TJ Watt caliber. They just need to perform. And hopefully they can get that done against the Washington Commanders, who the Giants play on Sunday in week 2. Hopefully Daniel Jones' success against them continues, because if it doesn't, Brian's going to be hungover.
Hungover, yes. It'd be the final nail in his coffin. Like, it's the one thing you've done right your entire career, and now you still can't do it. You're done. You're done.
Literally, you can't beat the Commanders, a team that you've always beaten since you joined the league, except one time. Please, just play Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito.
DeVito. I don't want Drew Lock. Tommy DeVito is still, at least Tommy DeVito is a young quarterback who he's kind of like Davis Webb, where Davis Webb was not the answer.
Yeah.
You're like, he's still a young quarterback. Maybe he can inspire something that's going to run here. He has the goodwill with the fan base. He's a fun guy. Does the media, the jokes online. Like, he'll, at the very least, he'll be a distraction from this horrible season.
But Dable's going to play Luck. And
yeah, they gave Locke $5 million. Like, it's,
which is
full economics.
Biggest mistake.
Yeah.
But hey, that's okay. All right, Commanders. Our division rivals, not really a rival because we've beaten them so many times, but the 4-13 last year. Key additions this year: Marcus Mariota, Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, center Tyler Biadasz from the Cowboys, linebacker Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, safety Jeremy Chin. They have a new kicker now, and Brandon McManus, and of course their draft picks up by Jaden Daniels, Johnny Newton, Mike Sainstro, who I really love as a corner and a safety, and Luke McCaffrey at a wide receiver. They lost a few guys, though: Jacoby Brissett, Sam Howell, Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel, Charles Leno, just to name a few guys.
The only guy that was actually a loss was Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, who cares about How or Brissett, like no one gives a
Yeah,
crap about
like
that.
all right, Antonio Gibson. I can give you 15 Antonio Gibsons that you could find. They're not Antonio Gibson who grows on trees. Like he's not a hard player to find. You need a bulldozing back. Okay, there's 40 of them in the draft right now. Get one.
Oh man. So last year the Commanders, look, they tried the Sam Howell experiment last year. Didn't work out for them. But you know what? He lost them enough games for them to get Jaden Daniels. A very talented pass for Daniels. Daniels is an even better scrambler. It would have been nice to have him here with the Giants, obviously. But the chips fell where they did, and unfortunately we didn't get him at 6 overall. Daniels does have weapons on the Commanders' offense to work around. He has McLaurin, who has been a number one receiver ever since he's joined the team as a rookie. Yeah, Samuel is gone, but they have Luke McCaffrey now, who's the brother of Christian McCaffrey. Not to get off topic for a second, what do you think about McCaffrey? Because Christian McCaffrey, sorry to be exact.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like Luke, I think is an awesome special teams player because he's so fast.
Mm-hmm. But Christian,
like Xavier Worthy got all like the hype during the combine, but everyone kind of forgot that McCaffrey put on a pretty speedy performance too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, he's not that bad of a prospect. Not saying that he's gonna be a great number 2 receiver, but number 3, number 4, who knows?
Like a Devin Hester was like, all right, he's out there, but he's really here just to get kickoffs and stuff.
But Christian, though, is he gonna play week 2? You think?
I don't think so. It's saying he's a long shot to play week 2.
He says he's ready though. That is interesting. That is something worth monitoring because it's like he could have played week 1 if it was a playoff game. But then we heard of all this tendonitis stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like Madden curse?
Could be.
Could be. It's like it's real. If McCaffrey is out for like a while.
Yeah.
That is no joke then, because holy cow. But
it hurts, but like Jordan Mason looked great.
He did.
So like it's like okay, the Niners found another guy.
Which is annoying as heck. Because there's other, why can't we do that? Instead we're stuck with Singletary. Anyways, though. Yeah, but the Commanders have offensively around Daniels has a great supporting cast. Austin Eckler is there. Him and Brian Robinson are sharing carries, but offensive line wise, signing Biatz and Allegretti on the offensive line will have so far kind of paid dividends. We'll get to that in just a bit. But defensively as well, they've made some additions with Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louisville, like we just mentioned. They also signed Dorrance Armstrong from the Cowboys, who had 7.5 sacks for Dallas last year. And then, Jonathan Allen still there. Jerron Payne's still there as well. Secondary wise, Kendall Fuller's gone. So their corners are Benjamin St. Juste and Michael Davis. Mike St. Show was drafted, but he's going to be mostly in the slot. And then Cameron Curl rolls out at the safety position with Jeremy Chin. So let's just kind of open it up as a whole. What are the keys to beating Washington, Brian, in your opinion?
Well, the first key is, play somewhat competent offense, actually move the football a little bit. But no, in all seriousness, it's just keeping Jaden Daniels in control. Like, don't let him rush all over you. Don't let them throw all over you because the Commanders are, they're very good, but they're also led by Dan Quinn. And we saw it again that Dan Quinn had some lapses in their first game that could have led them to a victory. So if we can get Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns to step up and play actual pass rushing and keep him contained, they have a shot at winning this game.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Daniels, though, he was 17-24, 184 yards against the Buccaneers last week. But here's the concerning thing: 16 carries for 88 yards. Yes, he scored twice, which is great to hear. But that's 16 carries. He legit had one less rushing attempt than a passing completion. Not saying it's a major concern, but the Commanders did say they want to kind of limit his rushing carries per se.
Yeah.
But he did fumble the ball 3 times. So literally the job is simple. Force turnovers, limit his scrambling ability, force him to throw the football down the field, and just trust your corners because Deontay
Yeah.
Banks and Adoree Jackson are more than able to handle Terry McLaurin and Luke McCaffrey. And
Yeah.
it's
You saw
it's
the game against Minnesota. Like, I know we lost, but like Justin Jefferson didn't go off. Anderson didn't
yeah.
go off. They did fine.
Yeah, like if they can handle those two guys, they are more than able to handle the weapons in Washington per se. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, I she said it. It's literally as simple as scoring points. Like it's not the weakest part of this Commanders defense is their corners.
Yeah.
So I fully expect Malik Neighbors to cook. 100 yards is not out of the question. Wandell Robinson should have a solid game. Darius Slayton should contribute. Jalen Hyatt maybe contributes a little bit more. We'll
Yeah.
see. Uh,
Attack the deep. If their weakness is corners and secondaries, and all off season it was we're gonna throw the ball deep. Let's see it. Throw
let's
the ball
see it.
down the field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because last week we didn't see any deep plays down the field. None of Daniel Jones's pass attempts went over 20 plus yards. Let's see a few down the field. Let's see him try. If he tries and if it doesn't work, then we can come back here and say, yeah, he didn't try. It didn't work out, but at least he tried. But that's all we want to see, just because we're sick of it. We're sick of seeing just check downs and short plays and slants. Like it's boring, man. I want to see deep balls down the field to the guys that we have who are more than capable of running routes, deep routes down the field. So Daniel Jones is 5-1 against the Commanders in his career. Please be number 6. Because if he falls to 5-2, Tuesday will be a very just like the last episode, a very sad one. And then Brian's gonna go off again, and it's gonna be fun to watch. Funny to watch. Not that's gonna be a good thing to watch, but it'll be funny to watch. Alrighty, simple as that. Go Giants! Please be the Commanders, and hopefully we can sit back here at talking about the Giants at 1-1. Now, I want to say this right now, and Brian, you can agree with me on this. Even if the Giants beat the Commanders, I will not be the happiest guy.
No, I mean, changes nothing.
Because this is what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just like last week, you were supposed to beat the Vikings. Didn't happen.
Yeah, so. Exactly. We'll be happy they won, but it won't change how we feel about the team as a whole.
100%. And things will change when they start beating the teams that they're not predicted to be. Yeah.
If they upset Dallas, upset Philly, upset Cincinnati, then we get happy.
That's like, okay, this team is doing something right. So, all right, my guy. Notre Dame. We saw your. Oh, by the way, you guys got to check it out. Brian released an amazing article about Riley Leonard and the Notre Dame Irish if they made a mistake with him and if he should start. Not just this game, but also in the future. So check it out on bellyupsports.com. Brian's newest article on the Fighting Irish. And speaking of the Irish, they take on Purdue this weekend. Purdue is 1-0 this year. Why do I even mention this? They beat Indiana State 49-0 back on August 31st. They had the bye week last week, which is way too early. But anyways, you guys have had success against this team. You guys have won the last 8 games since 2007 and 10 of the last 12 games as well against the Boilermakers. And this is it is a must win, but
it's a must win. No. This is a must win. Every game from now on is a must win for the Irish after losing to Northern Illinois. If you want a shot at making the playoffs, which Notre Dame has, but it's very slight, you have to win out. That's simple.
Okay. What are the keys to being Purdue then?
We need a better offensive attack. Like, we need to throw the ball, be aggressive, run the ball more. Like, it's really just the offense because the defense played decently on Saturday. Like, they didn't play great, but they played to a standard they could have won. They held, they had one bad play where they gave up an 80-yard reception. Kind of happens. They were able to hold Illinois to a couple field goals. Notre Dame scores. It's 14-13. It's the offense where Notre Dame were struggling. We saw Leonard make bonehead decisions, throwing the ball deep downfield on 2nd and 1 when you have a wide open guy in the corner. That can't happen. Don't play hero ball. Make the smart play. Look for the open receiver and don't force things. That's what we need. And then if Ryan Leonard, because it's clear doesn't have the R strength, lean on your running backs. Lean on Love. Lean on these guys. These are guys that are going to build up his team. Do the Zion runs with Ryan Leonard because that's what we all talked about. He's a dual threat guy. All right, let's play some. Let's take some page out of the Alabama playbook we're doing Jalen Milroe and try it out with Ryan Leonard. Let's go, guys.
It's
Purdue. I know they're Big Ten.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
They're better than Northern Illinois. They still should beat them. This is, a rivalry, an in-state rivalry game. This should be a win.
But it's just the offense they're worried about because they're not the most explosive group in the world.
They haven't have a passing touchdown. They don't have a passing touchdown. It's week 3. And all we talked about was Collins and Mitchell, how they're, transfers. They're going to revitalize the game. Leonard can revitalize the game with his arm. And we haven't seen that. If anything, we've seen Ryan Leonard can't revitalize the game with his arm because he can't throw the ball over 10 yards on the field without it looking like a wounded duck.
But if there's any optimism for the Irish, it's that after you lose to, quote unquote, a bad team, example, Marshall, like you mentioned before, Stanford, Northern Illinois this year, you guys come back and win games. Yeah. And the past 2 times you guys lost to a bad team, you guys beat Cal and UNLV respectively after those bad losses. So this, honestly, game that you guys should win. Hopefully we come back here and kind of just take a breath and say, okay, the Irish are back on track.
Back on track. Mm-hmm. Not back on track because there's still problems, but there's more hope. And shout out to Marcus Freeman for talking to Northern Illinois' head coach and just trying to okay, what did you game plans? What were the weaknesses you pointed out? That's what I like to see. Still got question about Freeman. Don't get me wrong. I do like he's taking initiative that, hey, we didn't play our best game. Let me take some advice from the guy that beat us. Don't leave any stone unturned. That's what I like to see.
Amen to that, buddy. Amen. I do want to ask real quick before we make our NFL Week 2 picks, even if the Irish win, does that make you feel better about this team?
No.
Or are you still – okay. So just like the Giants, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like, all right, because it's a game we should win is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Notre Dame really should have won every game out. We lost to Louisville. It's one thing. Louisville's good. They've kind of had our number in the past. I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be devastated. Northern Illinois devastated me. Like, that's like, oh, my God. It's the same story again. We've been tricked again.
All right. Well, we'll see on Saturday. We'll communicate on that day, and hopefully we can see the Irish win, baby. Ryan Leonard, I hopefully
it's a make or break game for him. This is, if you want to get back on the fans' good side, you have to go out there and have a career performance.
I expect a big game from Germinaro Love, to be honest.
Yes,
I don't know why. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Big game from him. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, NFL Week 2. Starts tonight with the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Actually, before we even get to that, you mentioned Deshaun Watson.
Bro needs a hobby.
He does.
Dude, again, another allegation? Like, what? Stop.
Yeah, he has one though. Getting his back hurts.
Yeah, do something else. Go fishing. Try bowling. Stop getting massages, then sexually assaulting the masseuse. Stop.
It's weird.
Like, it's disgusting, honestly. Like, he's cut 30, right? Like 30 now? Like, it's a ridiculous number.
Is he 30? Let me check.
It's somewhere between 20.
He's approaching
It's the
28.
fact that we're even 28. That's a lot. That's 28 too many.
I don't think he's gonna get suspended. I don't think, because I haven't heard anything. But here's the thing: his play, he might as well get suspended. Like, he just looks like
he looks horrible. Something happened. Like I don't know what it is. He's just not the same quarterback he was in Houston all those years ago.
And his teammates don't respect him whatsoever. Like, you seen the video of the lineman Joe Platonio when he tried to get Deshaun was like, "I'm trying to help you up," and Deshaun was like, "Hell no." I was like, "Oh shit."
Would you? He apparently he's an egomaniac. He has all these allegations against him. If I was his teammate, I'd be like, "Screw this guy. He's a horrible person."
Well, update on Deshaun, actually. The newest accuser, like you just mentioned, will meet with the NFL, and it has, quote, pertinent video of the Watson situation.
Right.
And there was 2 important questions when the report came out. It was, will the accuser cooperate with the NFL's investigation? And was this claim disclosed in writing to the Browns when Deshaun signed his contract in 2022? Well, yes, the accuser will meet with the NFL in 2 weeks. The lawyer, Tony Busby, who's been a big name in this whole Deshaun Watson case, is involved once again with this accuser. Here's the thing. If the claim isn't on the list of potential cases that are exempt from contractual default, this is from Pro Football Talk, by the way, Watson has a very significant problem, because given the fully guaranteed payments remaining on this contract, this is a $92 million contract. And yes, that means basically his $92 million in guaranteed money in the future are at risk. So what I'm trying to basically, from what I got from this was, Deshaun, your actions may cost you your money. And you know what? This is literally the final contract you're going to get, because ain't no way someone's going to sign you to a long-term contract after what we just saw. No way.
No one's going to take on the headache, and you're not good enough to play.
No. And it's just, it wasn't that long ago, Brian, that Watson was a top 10 quarterback. And all of a sudden,
we literally went from Deshaun Watson wanting that long-term contract for the Houston Texans, in like a month, it's like, wait a minute, Deshaun Watson is like a serial sexual assault person? Like, what's going on? It's like the downfall is insane of Deshaun Watson.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the next few episodes, and we'll see any updates. So we'll keep you guys updated on the whole Deshaun Watson case, and we'll go from there. So, all right, let's break it down. Week 2 picks before we head out for the day. Buffalo, Miami. Big news. Raheem Mostert is expected to be out. He may miss more than just this game for the Dolphins. Devon Achane, the backup running back, is a game time decision. So watch out for your fantasy teams. This guy right here as well. I have him in my starting lineup. So if he's out, I'm screwed against you. The Buffalo Bills enter Josh Allen and Keon Coleman have a good chemistry, but who do you got, man? Buffalo, Miami.
I'm going with Miami. I think they bounce back in a big way. I think they're going to really expose that pass game. It's at home. I'm going with Dolphins.
All right. I'll go with Buffalo. I think the MVP campaign for Josh Allen continues, and this Miami defense, as improved as they are, don't think they'll be able to stop. I know it's at home.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the Bills in this one. All right. New Orleans came off an outstanding win over the Carolina Panthers. But they do face a way better team than the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. I'm going Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys. It's not even going to be a game.
Derek Carr, 2 interceptions. I guarantee you.
Possibly, yeah.
And possibly. Detroit's schedule, very appealing to start the year. They just played the Rams, who they played last year in the playoffs, and now they face another playoff team who they played in the divisional round. and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game is also in Detroit. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions against the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going Lions too. I love the revenge story the Lions are going on here.
Me too. Me too, man. The Bucks are a great team. We talked about earlier. Baker Mayfield has been outstanding, but the Detroit, man, I fully expect Amon-Ra St. Brown to bounce back after a very quiet performance last week against the Rams.
Yeah.
Colts Packers. Was gonna go Packers, but I heard, or not that we heard, but Jordan Love's gonna miss a few weeks. So Malik Willis is gonna start for the Packers, which will get ugly based off past
based off watching
records.
Malik Willis play football. Get ugly.
So I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts in this one.
Yeah, Colts. Anthony Richardson's gonna look great. Colts by 100.
Alrighty. The New York Jets, after they lost to the 49ers, will head to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Will Levis, who had a 17-point lead last week, kind of just fell off, I guess is the right way to say it.
Not a good look for the Titans at all. I think they're playing a better Jets team than the Bears were. I think the Jets will bounce back in a big way against the Titans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jets too. And this is a rough start. If they do lose, a rough start for Tennessee, who I had high hopes for heading into the year. That Chicago game was something they should have had, and because of that loss, now they play the Jets.
Yeah.
Oof. 49ers, who may not have Christian McCaffrey on Sunday, will head to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings, who just beat the Giants, of course. Going with the 49ers, I think they'll be just fine. They'll be just 49.
Fine. They played out Christian McCaffrey and beat a really what's supposed to be a playoff Jets team. They're going to be fine against the Minnesota Vikings.
Plus, they know who the Vikings quarterback is Sam Darnold, who they had last year as their backup. I think he'll struggle. I think he will struggle.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's a big factor when you're familiar with guys, especially when you're a guy like Kyle Shanahan's. Like, all right, I know exactly what this guy can and can't do. Just make him do stuff he can't do. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Seattle, New England in Foxborough.
I'm going Seattle here. Fluke win for the Patriots. Week 1 against Cincinnati. That's more Cincinnati beating themselves than the Patriots actually winning that game. I know it's a home game, but I think Seattle will play fine and they'll win easily.
All right. Our beloved Giants as they take on the Washington Commanders.
You know what? Give me the Giants here. Why not? Why not set myself up for pain? Because, Daniel Jones always beats the Commanders, so let's hope.
Always does. I mean, if he doesn't, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't feel good about it, but you know what? Why not? Let's give him one more chance. This is it.
Alrighty. Chargers and Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Panthers hopefully should bounce back from not devastating, but an embarrassing loss against the Saints last week. They will score a touchdown or more than 10 points, but the Chargers end up winning. Going with the Chargers.
I think the Chargers have so much build up with Jim Harbaugh out there now. They have a very good running game with J.K. Dobbins, who doesn't even look like he's missed a step since tearing his ACL. They got a quarterback in Herbert. This team is going to be fine. Chargers should win pretty convincingly.
All right. Browns and Jacksonville. Ugly game than most people think.
It's going to be bad. This is going to be a game that Red Zone forgets. You'll be like, all right, that's happening. But give me the Jags. I think they'll bounce back. I think Deshaun Watson's so bad. And the Jaguars were playing decently against Miami all day. They had a fight in them, so maybe it's just build off the positives and keep rolling.
Yeah, Cleveland. that offense
disaster.
Jacksonville's defense may win this game for the Jaguars, but
it's not the off. But Trevor Lawrence might have an okay performance. Not great. Okay.
To get the job done, and then the last game of the early slate, Raiders and Ravens.
Yeah, is this really a question?
Baltimore.
The Ravens almost beat the Chiefs last week.
Yeah.
Raiders?
Mark Andrews, please.
Please do something.
Please, for my fantasy team's sake, darn it. He should bounce back though. I know Isaiah likely had a great game, but we know Lamar's her weapon is Mark Andrews. Hopefully get back on track there. All right. Afternoon slate of games. The Rams take on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Marvin Harrison should get more than one catch, hopefully. But I'll go with the Rams in this one. I know they lost Puka, but Rams should get the job done.
I'm going to go Cardinals. I think they played really well. I think they're going to use Harrison more. I was leaning Rams, and I forgot about the Puka injury. I think Cardinals in the upset. They almost beat the Bills, and the offense looked good without using Harrison that much. I think Adam, it's a whole new level for that team.
Yeah, all righty. Pittsburgh at Denver. We'll go Steelers.
Steelers, yeah. TJ Belichick's going to have a long game with TJ Watt.
Oof. And Denver's offensive line isn't the greatest in the world, so TJ Watt about to have
how is he still getting back here, guys?
Bonix is like, I need help now. So yeah, I got Pittsburgh. Yeah, definitely got Pittsburgh. Justin Fields is gonna be 2-0 as a starter for the Steelers.
Saw that.
I know. Cincinnati and Kansas City, biggest game of the afternoon slate. Yeah, look, Joe Burrow, I get it, against Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs. At home
sucks,
too.
But who are you going to lose to? The Chiefs have enough talent that they really could go 17-0.
That's how good they are. Travis Kelce. Come on now. I know you're dating Taylor Swift, man. That's great. But hey,
cool.
You're
a football player first, you know?
Go out there and play, my guy. And then that's a Sunday night game? Holy crap. Whoa.
I don't know why that's a Sunday night game when that game is there.
Yeah. Okay.
I know we can't flex early in the season, but we should be able to flex this out and get Chiefs and Cincinnati in prime time.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I get why they did that Sunday night game to be it is, but there's other matchups. Chicago and Houston is what we're talking about. Caleb Williams goes up against CJ Stroud. Look, I get it, but
yeah, they want to show off Caleb Williams is what they want to do.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. The Bears offense put up 2 points last week.
Texans
2 points.
Texans all day.
Yeah, they about to have a day. And then finally on Monday Night Football, the Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles, the two birds, face off against each other. Philly? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Philly.
Fly. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing
it. Don't sing that song. I'll leave right now.
I know.
It's such a stupid song. It's so annoying. See ya. Bye. I'm done.
Alrighty. All right. Well, that's our week 2 picks for the day. Before we go, did you hear about Shannon Sharp? All right. Just know if I ever get caught like that, oh boy, don't ever speak to me again, because that will be. Apparently, said he was hacked.
When you're doing that, you know,
he said he was hacked.
Off.
He said he was hacked.
I've never heard of a hacker somehow turning on your Instagram live to go live right then and there. I was hacked. No, you weren't. You're an idiot.
We love you, Shannon, but just gotta be careful, man. Because, well, you heard that's some stuff you got to keep on the low. Privacy. But that's all good. We love Shannon Sharp. Absolute legend. Hall of Famer. Great analyst on ESPN. One of the few people keeping that network alive. That's all I got to say. All righty. Well, Brian, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you have fun this weekend watching the games, and I hope your sanity is, in the middle, not too high, not too low.
Only hope.
Yeah, don't have a hangover. That's all.
I'll try to.
All right. Well, I'll see you Tuesday, and for you guys, we'll see you guys on Tuesday as well. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Third and 10 podcast. Catch us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and then find us on our YouTube channel as well. So for Nate or for Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Go